live right here, and I coach you for 1 whole minute and give you whatever the best is that I've got for that minute, whatever the challenge is that's going on in your life. And so today's show, we're going to start out talking about money, and the whole theme of the show is for you to make your money make you more money. You work so hard for it, right? Shouldn't it be working for you? And I'm going to talk about it from a perspective of how you can really embrace your relationship with money. You know, you do have a relationship with money, and money is energy, and money actually has feelings. And I'm going to get into all of that. And so why don't we just start right there? Okay. So the reason why I wanted to pick this topic today is because we're going through unprecedented times. We've never had an experience to the capacity about what we're experiencing right now between COVID, the unemployment rate, what's going on with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, and just the literally crumbling of so many layers of things that are happening right now, from small businesses to the education system, kids not being able to graduate, to so many people being out of work, to companies having to repivot. I mean, it's the government, it's the healthcare system, you name it. There isn't a person on this planet or a sector that's not affected by COVID-19, right? I mean, isn't it crazy how this happened? And we got the rug pulled out from under us, because even though we could kind of see what was happening in the rest of the world, we really didn't think it was going to hit us. And it really didn't become obvious until late in the spring that it was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, wham, everything changed on a dime. I remember I was up in LA. I was looking for places to live. I was planning on moving from San Diego up to LA to be closer to family. And I'm out looking at apartments and getting ready to leave on that Monday morning. And then the lockdown happened. And I'm not planning on moving to LA anymore. It completely, changed my world. And it was such an upheaval for me. And it's about pivoting and being able to change directions when things happen to us. So like I said, I wanted to talk about money because it's the number one thing, certainly, that clients come to me worried about. And I know it's certainly the number one thing that clients come to my guest today, Bridget Grimes, about. So with 80% of the people that I work with having that be the number one thing that they worry about, it's worth having this conversation about. So, all right. So some statistics that I pulled, most Americans have less than $400 in their bank account. That's crazy. Less than $400. That over 44 million Americans are now on unemployment, or they've filed for unemployment. And that there are a lot of business owners, I've talked to several of them, who aren't going to make it through this. They're going to have to completely repivot their careers and their lives. And what a massive wake-up call this has been. So let's first talk about it from the perspective of mindset. And let me share with you 3 ways to improve your money mindset so that you can actually have a better relationship with your money, and maybe conscious awareness that you do have a relationship with your money, and that you can change that relationship, and you need to change that relationship in order to open up the portal to abundance, to start receiving more and more money, and make your money work for you, and make your money make you more money, which is our topic today. All right. So the first thing I want to share with you is that money loves you. Yeah, money actually does love you. Money is energy, and money does have feelings. Everything has energy. Everything is connected. And so if you knew that money loves you, and you thought about that, and this is coming from a book that I'm going to share with you in a moment. But if you think about it, that money actually does love you and wants you to use it, wants you to invest it, wants you to spend it, wants you to give it away, wants you to save it, wants to use it for all the reasons that it exists in the first place. It's who told me this? I want to say it was Joe Vitale that said, um, the only purpose of money is to show appreciation. I thought that was so cool. That's what it's for. How cool is that? And then the statement "money loves you" comes from a book named "Money Loves You" by a woman named Sarah McCrum. I don't know if you've ever heard of her before. This is such a fantastic read. She had a struggle with money and somehow got directed to have a conversation with money by saying, if money could speak to you, what would it say? And she kind of tapped in and thought about it for a minute. And then she put pen to paper and she wrote down this beautiful, basically a poem of what money had to say to her. And it was, I love you. I care about you. I'm always here for you. Don't shame me. Use me. Take advantage of me. I'm here for you. I want to give you everything that you need. I'm totally paraphrasing right now, but that's basically the gist of it. And then her book called Money Loves You, which we will have a link in the description area for you to get, is all written from the perspective of money. Money wrote the whole book. Money is talking throughout the entire book. And it's so fantastic. That was such a light bulb for me. And it completely shifted me and my relationship with money. And knowing that I love money and money loves me. So we have all of this programming that we've been carrying around since, we're young. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money's for some people, but not for others. And you got to work hard for your money and all of these limiting beliefs. But what if you just shifted one belief to say, oh, money loves me. I get it. Money loves me. Money wants me to have the things that I want and desire. And money is available for us. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that I want you to act like a wealthy person. If you want money and your goal is to get $1 million or have multi-million dollars or whatever that number is for you, you've got to act like a wealthy person. How a wealthy person carries themselves. You have to first get to that feeling place. And this is all about law of attraction. This is anything and everything you've ever read, that it comes to, you have to have the feeling first. You need to carry on the persona that you are a wealthy person in order to attract more wealth to you. Because if you keep living in the same mindset of, when then it will be, when I have the money, then I will do these things, or any of those limiting beliefs, you keep yourself stuck in the state that you are. And so you have to change your state. And how you change your state is you need to act differently. And this, I read something, I was watching somebody else, Scott. Oh, no, I'm not going to remember his name. It's not Scott Thomas. Anyway, I'll look it up. Oh my gosh, I'm just drawing it. Brian Scott. He's somebody that I'm following. And I watched a video of his, and he was talking about money as well, and how to really become, a magnetic attractor to the things that you want. And he said there were 3 things. And one of them was that you have to act. You have to be able to act like the person or the thing that you want. You want to live in a beautiful house? Well, then look for beautiful houses online, or go to open houses of beautiful houses. Or you want a beautiful new car, then go to showrooms and test drive beautiful cars. You want to attract love into your life, then get on dating apps or get dressed up and act like somebody who's got a loving divine relationship in their lives. So you need to act and carry yourself as if you are already this wealthy person. Okay. So that's number 2. Number 3 is read and listen to money mindset products. I say on a regular basis, I work on my mindset every day. I meditated for 45 minutes this morning. I journaled this morning, and just get myself into alignment. If that's the biggest challenge area of your life, you've got to be proactive in your action to help make that mindset shift for you. And reading books like Money Loves You is one of them, by Sarah McCrum, which I told you we'll have a link to that in the description area. Another one that I read not long ago was Money Loves Speed by Joe Vitale. And he talked about how money actually does love speed. You know, the hemming and the hawing of making decisions, you know, like, oh, I don't want to make that decision. I can't wait to hear what Bridget says about this, because maybe she'll say the opposite, but you need to be take a leadership role and a proactive role in making decisions, and not in an ignorant or careless way. But if you want things in your life to come into your life that require money, you've got to have that feeling first, as if you already have it, and then make decisions quickly towards achieving it. Because I will tell you, when I do that, when I want something, things shift immediately. We just hired 2 new salespeople, and we're going through a lot of changes too. And if you looked at the financial statements, it would say, don't do that. And I said, well, but I need to do that. So how can I do that in a smarter way? All right, well, I'm going to hire straight commission salespeople, and I'm going to give them, a 30 to 60 day window to, prove their worth. And so I made the decision, found 2 amazing people. I was looking for one, ended up hiring 2, and already they have hit the ground running, and things have already shifted, and money is flowing into the business. So that's just an example of what you can do in terms of a mindset. So, but that happens because I read positive things. I listen to positive, motivating things related to money, whether it's affirmations or mantra meditations, things like that. So what I'm going to do for you today is, at the very end of the show, stay tuned for it. I am going to read you a money mantra meditation that I created that has powerfully shifted so many women's lives when it comes to money mindset. And I'm going to share that with you live on air today. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. So those are the 3 tips for you today. So remember, money loves you. It does. You do have a relationship with money. Act as if you are that wealthy person and you have a lot of money, and read and listen to positive mindset products, CDs, DVDs, whatever you need to do to watch, listen, and read and tune into developing a healthier money mindset. All right. So our intention statement, which we do every single week on the show this week, is I have today to invest my money wisely. I have today to invest my money wisely. And so what we do is, on Instagram every single week, here's one of my wallpapers. We create weekly wallpaper for you based on the theme of the show. And they live on my Instagram page. There's a button that says wallpaper. So you can download it and you can let it anchor in and really get ingrained and become a part of who you are. All right. So remember, I have today to invest my money wisely. And you do. Doesn't matter how much money you have. $10, $100, $1,000, $1 million, you have today to invest your money wisely. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to play for you an intention statement video. And we created this because this is part of the I Have Today movement. We are committed to seeing that 1 billion people on this planet who don't know their self-worth discover their true divinity, power, and purpose. And it's through self-love, unconditional self-love and awareness. And it's also through living your life intentionally, empowered, who you are and what you want, and being able to go after your dreams unabashedly. And so when you live the I Have Today way, which is intentionally, with passion and purpose, you feel empowered, confident, more motivated and driven in your life. And you know that your dreams matter. So this video clip that we're going to share with you right now is just a sampling of some of the I Have Today intention statements that we've collected here, but we want to see yours. We want you to send them to us. So after the video plays, we'll let you know how you can send your video to us, okay? Thanks.
Hi, my name is Marcia Reiner, and I'm with Bella Financial Group. So I have today to be financially stronger and be judgment-free of my own space.
I have today to prove to myself that I can really be true to who I am and to break through all the boundaries that I constantly create for myself every day and realize that they're not true, and really take my life to the next level in every single way that I can.
It's really just capturing today and living life's best life today. So for me, I have today to live my best life today.
What's up, guys? My name is Carlos Capara. I'm the founder and owner of Excel Branding, and I have today to fulfill my infinite potential and to step into my greater, higher self and allow myself to live a life every single day that is based on joy, happiness, and pure excitement.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Deep Stratton. I have today to get out of my own way so I can make the biggest difference I possibly can.
I'm Dr. Carol Soloway. I'm a chiropractor and qualified medical examiner by day, but at night, I'm the author of the Amazon bestseller, Sex Happens. And I have today to save the world, to save children who are trafficked, because my next book, all of the proceeds are going towards that.
Aren't those amazing? Don't you love their intentions and their big whys? Well, we want to know yours. What's your big why? What's your intention? How do you live the I Have Today way? So be sure to send us your videos so that you can be featured on the show at dianeforster.com/intention. All right. Okay, so my guest is here. Everyone, this is Bridget Grimes.
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you on the show. This is going to be obviously your topic, but a great conversation. I can't wait for you to share your brilliance with everyone. So let me tell you a little bit about Bridget. Bridget Grimes is the president of Wealth Choice, a financial planning firm that specializes in advising women attorneys. Bridget helps her clients live the life they want by having a plan for the 4 financial derailers. Can't wait to get into this. She is the co-founder of Equita Financial Network, a collaboration of women-led financial planning firms, and author of the bestseller Corner Office Choices, the Executive Woman's Guide to Financial Freedom. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks.
Yes. So money. I mean, let's talk about money.
Great topic,
Yes.
especially now, even more great topic.
Yes. So share with a little bit about your story, why you created Wealth Choice. What was your journey?
Sure. So very personal reason. I actually got into financial planning about a decade ago because of my own personal experience. Went through a divorce, had 2 little kids, worked all the time. And I realized at that time, when 2 of my best friends were also going through divorces, that I didn't have time to think about my future financially. There wasn't time. And when I looked around, I realized how many hardworking women were in the same boat. And I thought, man, this has to change. So it really was my impetus for getting into financial planning, specifically for women execs. And then when I had worked for a series of larger firms, and I have to tell you, over years of living it myself and then seeing what the biggest issues were for women, I knew that there were specific things we had to focus on in order for women to be successful financially. They're not traditionally done in your basic financial planning firm.
Okay.
Which is why I decided to launch Wealth Choice. So we are really focused on the biggest challenges that women have, and then specifically female attorneys. That's really where we spend a lot of time. But we started originally with women execs. Okay.
Talk about, what are the 4 financial derailers? What are they?
Sure. And I have to tell you, after years of working with women, these are honestly, I feel if every woman knew about these 4 issues, we'd all be in a better place. I mean, that's really the story. So first issue is not knowing what you want. And
Yeah.
you actually talked about it earlier in the program today.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing what is important to you, because everything about money is a choice.
Yes.
Right. So you will find that women like us work 24/7, super busy, do not take the few minutes to think about what do you really want in life.
Yeah.
So that's number one derailer. What is it you want? The second thing is not knowing where your money goes, right? So we have, we earn it, we spend it. Most of us have no idea where it's going. And that's important because if you know where it goes, you can choose to spend it where it's most meaningful to you. So we spend a lot of time around, okay, where's the money going? Third derailer, which is a huge one for working women, is what is the plan around your career or your business? So you mentioned, business owners right now, many of them are in a tough place.
Yes.
And what is their strategy? What are their plans? And maybe they are going to pivot now.
Yes.
Things are very different now. So it's not having a plan around, if you're a business owner, what is the plan around that business? Or if you are an employee, what is your personal career path looking like? Because if that's going to generate the income for the things that are meaningful for you, how are we managing that? So having a plan around that piece. And then the fourth derailer is really not having a plan of action. So you had mentioned also earlier how important awareness is, knowing what you want. And then as far as we're concerned, and then you mentioned taking action. So if you put pen to paper and you say, okay, here's what my goals are, here's what's important to me, here's where I'm spending the money, here are the steps I'm willing to take, and then you actually have a plan of action, your chances of reaching those goals is so much greater. So those are the four areas we find that you may not have all of them, you may have one or two of them, but those are the areas we see women really struggling with, and we spend a lot of time there.
Yes. The clarity about what you want is so important. It's imperative. I say it all the time, it's about living intentionally. If you don't give yourself, the universe, the world, the directive of what it is you want. I said, it's like you're sitting on the back of a bus. There's no driver and there's no navigation system. You are literally aimlessly moving through your life and you're not even the one in control.
Right.
So that's so important.
It is, because wouldn't you rather be the one who dictates what happens rather than have it dictated to you?
Yes.
And when you mentioned the average American has $400 in their bank account, not great when things like this happen, right? How often are we going to have a pandemic? Hopefully never again, right? In our lifetime.
Right.
But the fact is that you have to be prepared and you have to make decisions so that you are the one making the choices and they're not happening to you where you have to respond.
Right. It's so true. Well, I mean, this is a wake-up call for everyone.
It is a wake-up call. And so we've had a lot of different conversations around money in the last few months because this is one of those things that comes at you from the side and you never see it coming.
Yeah.
And so we have kind of retrenched, and our first conversation with everyone when we're checking in is, okay, how are we doing? How are you doing?
Right.
Like, how are you managing through this with your family? How do you feel? And then let's talk about the numbers. We go first to, okay, how much cash do you have?
Right.
What does that emergency fund look like right now? Because we don't know what the next couple of quarters are going to look like. And we just want to be ready, right? So we don't want to have to make crazy decisions or wind up making emotional, impulsive decisions if we know we have a little cushion.
Yes.
And if we don't have it, then we're going to figure out how we're going to get it.
Right. That's so true. And so, and you pivoted because it was women professionals, and now it's more, you're focusing on attorneys. Why did you choose attorneys?
And that's a great question.
Yeah.
There's a couple reasons. So when I initially started in financial planning, I was working primarily with women attorneys. And I'll tell you, so I'm in finance, and in my industry, there's the greatest pay disparity for women in finance of any industry out there.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, it's unbelievably bad. And so I feel that women in finance share so many similarities to women in law. Just from the gender issues within our careers, pay disparity issues, the way where traditionally our industries are run by white males. That's still the way it is. I'm a certified financial planner. 25% are women and diversity. And so it's still 75% white male.
Wow.
And when I was, worked for my prior employers, it was always an issue. It was always an issue. And it didn't matter how much you advocated for yourself. You never got ahead.
Yeah.
And it's very similar for women in law. And so I feel that my own personal experience in business really relates to women in law. And so it's very easy for us to come up with solutions for these women because we're living almost the same thing.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Wow.
Yeah. And over time, I'll tell you, when I looked at my client base, and I looked to see who is it that I have been able to help best, right? Who do I do my best work for? Who do I get the most satisfaction serving? It really wound up being women who I was most similar to. And so that was really where I gravitated. So it's been a fun pivot.
Yeah. I love that because I say the same thing about, people say, well, who's your client? I said, she's me.
Right.
She's me. Those are the ones that same thing, enjoy, be authentic to who you are, and they relate to you, you relate to them. So it's a much more pleasurable experience because you have that connection.
And I think that's who we can help best, right?
Yes.
So during the last few months with just so much unrest, disruption, I've been bringing in speakers to just speak to my women and my clients about overwhelm and resilience and anything that can help us navigate this crazy storm.
Right.
But those are also things that I've been struggling with, right? I mean, you never know what the next day is going to look like. Honestly, This is a crazy thing. And so when I think, man, what will help me best? I also know that these will help, the women I help.
Yes. And I'm fortunate enough to be speaking to your group on this week.
An overwhelm. And we are so excited because I think it will make a huge difference. Absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, I love being on this journey with you and collaborating together. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So show us your book.
Okay. So almost 2 years ago, we published this book, Corner Office Choices, and it's on Amazon bestseller.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay.
So this book, actually, I'll tell you, it's a labor of love. I started it many years ago, and then life gets in the way, like everything, and I shelved it, and I just thought, I just don't have time. And then it got to a point where if one more woman came into my office and had these issues, I thought, man, now is the time. I've got to get these messages out. So the book is really about the 4 derailers. It starts talking about a woman who is a client of mine. There's a bunch of client stories in there. They're all real people, but they've been changed. So
yes,
protecting the innocent. But I put the stories in there because they're stories that we can all relate to, right?
Yeah.
These are real people. These are challenges that people have had, and then there's steps that we can take. And we start with a story of a woman who is a client still. It's been many years. And she was one of the typical folks who come to me, worked really hard, great at what she did, very unfulfilled. She wants to live this ideal life, but it's how does she get there, right? And working harder is not the answer. So we talk about this woman, and I had met with her for years, probably 3 years. And she was in the same job. She's an attorney, partner at a firm, making great money, and miserable, totally miserable. And 3 years into our relationship, she said, okay, now I'm really ready to do something about this. Because we would have the conversations, and she just wasn't ready to engage in change.
Yes.
Right? So she got to a point where she said, this is it. Okay, what are we going to have to do? And we talked about what it was that she really wanted. And she and her husband really wanted to live in this other country. They wanted to build a house. She wanted to dial back the number of hours she worked. She had figured out what her ideal life would look like.
Right.
And now that was the big deal, right? What is it that you actually want? And then we had to figure out, okay, well, where are you now? So let's just take stock of where you are. And we identified what we would need for her to do to get to this place. And it was about a 3-year plan. And we started to work with her. We had to save money. there wasn't enough money because even though she made great money, she spent great money.
Right.
Very typical.
Yes.
Because you get instant gratification,
The
right?
more you have, the more you spend. That's the mindset, right?
You know what it is, and it's always going to come in, and then things happen that you
Right.
don't expect, right? So,
Right.
so we knew we had to save, and we had a couple milestones we needed to hit. We knew in this country she wanted to live in, you have to buy a house for cash, and she's going to build a house. So we knew we needed to save X amount. And we knew she was going to leave the firm she was at. She was going to work for herself. So we had a plan around the whole career piece because she had to keep working. She's young.
Right.
And so over time, we started to chip away at these different pieces. And probably 2 years ago, she made the switch. She quit the job. She moved to the house in the other country. And I have to tell you, she's been so happy with the change in life that she makes far more than we ever needed her to.
Right.
And because she's happy, right?
Right.
And
Right.
this is where the money does come, right? Like you said, it does come. You have to have some boundaries. You have to know what you're shooting for and what's important to you. But it does come. And it has been the most wonderful story to watch and to be part of. Because this woman is happy.
Yes.
And it is everything that she would have hoped.
Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful story, and yay you for getting her there. So many things to say about that. You know, she put the plan in place. You know, knew it wasn't just going to be an instant gratification thing. That time was involved, but when you have a plan and you see that end destination, you're working towards something.
Right.
Which makes it so much more fun. And also, if you got the thing immediately, I don't think there's appreciation there. Like
If it were too easy.
If it was too easy.
You know, probably true.
Yeah.
Probably true. Because
Yeah.
you really get to enjoy what you've created, the
Right.
success, right?
Yes.
So, you know, in her case, right, when we talk about the 4 derailers, the first one is not knowing what you want. And
Right.
she didn't know. She knew that her life, the way it was really not working. But she didn't want to take the time to think about, well, what would I really like?
Yes.
And so just by sitting down and spending the time, you know, she's married, no children, but with her husband, what do we want this to look like? That was the first step.
Yes.
Because unless you know, how can you take action, right?
You can't.
And then in her case, we didn't really know where the money was going, but she was able to save. She's not a big spender. When you say, hey, you've got this goal over here, are you willing to cut and save it? So she was good.
Yes.
She could stop and say, yes, this is important to me. I'm going to save my money over here. Now, keep in mind, we're still doing a whole lot of saving because we had a couple different goals that had to happen. She's not going to retire for a number of years. So we're really focused now on putting money away for retirement. But the goals that happened first were the house, you know, and changing the job, changing from an employee to now my own business. So those came first. Retirement's in a few years, so now we're focused on that. But she could once we identified, okay, there's this much money coming in. Where do we need it to go now? Then we were able to siphon that off, and save it for those things.
But I have to interject.
Yes.
Money likes to know where it's going too. Money needs its pockets, its places to go, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And you mentioned that earlier too in this program where, so I love if you know what you want it for, right? Whatever that goal is, everybody's got completely different goals. But let's say your goal is to buy a house in 2 years and you know that your down payment's $100,000. Well, the best thing you could possibly do is make it easy for yourself every month when you get paid. You have that money automatically, whatever the number is, maybe it's a couple $1,000s, it automatically is transferred out into an account that you're saving for that particular goal.
Yes.
So you have your money work for you, and you make it happen, right?
Yes. Yes. So that's amazing. That's how it's done. So then you don't even touch it.
You don't even touch it.
Yes.
You don't even touch it. And what I love about this is, you know, you don't miss it. After a while, you don't miss it. And then when you open up this account and you say, wow, this is my house down payment fund, right? And it just automatically increases because you help it get there, right? You wouldn't believe how happy people are because they're making progress.
Right.
And they feel so much richer for that.
Yes.
And, you know, maybe they would have just spent it on clothes or dining out or whatever. But if you don't give it a job, and really earmark it for something specific, it just kind of goes into the ether.
Yes.
And you lose track of it. But this way, it is so easy to feel like you're making success, you're being successful very quickly if you help yourself with some things like these auto transfers out.
Yes. Great tip. Great advice. That's great.
Thank you. And then in this client's case, I wanted to mention too, so once we figured out, okay, we're going to carve money out for these different things, we absolutely needed, like I said, we needed to have a plan around when are you going to cut the cord with your employer. And she did a little research around, okay, which clients am I allowed to take? And how much money we worked on how much money do I need to make in order for us to be okay right now. And then we actually wrote down the action steps. We said, okay, here's what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And these are things that change all the time, right? So we took care of the house. We took care of the move and the business. And then there's always going to be something different.
Right.
And I would say to you too, so there's no plan that we put together and you implement and you walk away and you're good to go.
Right.
Because pandemics happen, riots happen, things happen.
Life
right?
happens.
Life
yes.
happens. You just never know. And so I would say that what we typically experience is that you have to be nimble and you have to expect that you're going to have to change and you're going to have to make concessions and you may lose time, and that's okay. That's okay, because I would rather have you in control of that money than that money in control of you.
Right.
And so especially in times of disruption like now, this is where you step back and you say, okay, so maybe I'm not going to move to LA now. Maybe I'm not going to do some of these things that I plan to do, or maybe I'm not going to do them right now.
Right.
That's okay. Let's just make sure that you're okay. You're financially secure now. And what has to happen right now for you to stay like that?
Right.
And then we'll revisit things in a couple months.
Right. Right. Got to be able to do that. Got to be able to pivot like that.
You do, because like you said, we may not have these particular things in the future, but we'll have something.
Right.
There's always something. I
Right.
was driving my daughter to the airport this morning. She paid me a surprise visit last week, which was awesome.
Nice. Very nice.
So nice, right?
Yeah.
I love kids. And she's flying back to her state of Texas. And, we were talking about how you just never know. And, she's 23 and life is not the straight path that when I was a kid, I thought, you do all these things and everything will be just fine and perfect. Well, it just doesn't work like that.
Right.
And I said to her, so now this year you get in, the pandemic, you get in social unrest, the murder hornets. I don't know what's next.
Right.
And this is just life. And so the key is, how do we adapt to this so that you're going to be okay? And on the other side of this, you're going to be good, not just okay.
Right. Right. All the money that ever existed still exists. It's still here. So that's something that should give you peace of mind. It's then thinking about, okay, so what do I want to do that's an authentic representation of myself, where I love what I do and I do what I love, while having the greatest impact on as many people as I can, while making as much money as I can, is a great question for you if you're going through this transition right now. So think about that. Okay, so let me ask you a question. I ask all my guests: how do you live the I Have Today way?
So I would say by living my passion and my purpose. And I love what I do. I love that I can make a difference to women out there, hardworking women. I love that. And I feel like I'm really blessed.
Yes.
Lucky me, right?
You are, so blessed. You get to do that.
And I have the same conversations that you have, which is why I love what you do.
Yeah.
I do with all of my clients, what is it going to take for you to do what you love? Because that will give you the richness, right?
Yes.
We can't just go through life without really loving what we're doing and making a difference.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, you're an amazing woman.
And thanks.
Grateful to be on this journey together and doing this.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me share with your viewers, because I really do feel, after years of doing this, that those 4 derailers are the biggest impediment between any of us living the life we want.
Yes.
And if you just can focus on, 1 or 2 of them, you are in so much better shape.
Yes. well, I'm going to get your book. And I highly encourage everyone to get Bridget's book. It's called
Corner
Office Choices, and it's available at Amazon. Okay.
Yes.
And get that.
Yeah.
No matter what age you are, you're going to get benefit out of that book.
And let us know what you think of it. If you do get it, we love reviews,
Yes.
and we love knowing if it makes a difference.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, now we're going to get ready, and we're going to move on to the Mentor Me Minute segment. If you haven't yet and want to put your questions in for a chance for me to coach you live here on air, please do so, and we'll see you in a moment. Hey there, we're back. Wasn't Bridget amazing? So amazing. I can't wait to read her book. So those are the 4 derailers. You've got to make sure that you know who you are and what you want. And when you do what you love and love what you do, life is just so much easier. So be that authentic representation to yourself. Okay? All right. Do we have any questions, Kelly?
Sure do.
Let's see what we have. Okay, what advice do you have for me because I'm stressed about money all the time? Well, that's what we're talking about. This is from Jane in Washington. Great question for you. Well, please follow the three ways that I just gave you, including one of them being, read and listen to motivational and inspirational products and services that'll help you, including Bridget's book. So make sure that you get that. But that remember that if you're feeling stressed about money, what's happening to you, and I might go over a minute. So how am I doing on time here? I want to be able to get this in. If you're feeling stressed about money, what's happening to you on a soul level is that feeling wherever you're feeling it, if it's in your heart, if it's in your gut, that is you of alignment with who you really are in your, on your soul and spirit level. Yeah, I'm going a little woo-woo. That is not supposed to be the way that you're feeling. So what you're doing is allowing old programming that's living in the subconscious mind of those limiting beliefs about those money stories to impact your life. And what's happening to you, Jane, is you believe that you're not worthy without a certain amount of money. And that's not true. You are worthy and deserving of everything that you want. Money is just the currency, one of the currencies that we use. And like I said, its role is appreciation. So if you start appreciating money more, money will appreciate you back. It's the law of reciprocity and the boomerang effect. What we put out, we get back, right? So start appreciating money more and tap into ways that you can really start to fall in love with money because it already loves you. Okay. Was that over a minute? I think that was over a minute. That's okay. Okay. I'm getting deeper in debt with no money at the end of the month. How can you help me? Denise in San Diego. Oh, she's here in San Diego. Hi, Denise. How are you? One day we're going to have this show live with a studio audience, and hopefully you'll come into the studio and be a part of the audience. That would be great. All right, so you're getting deeper in debt, which means, and I've got Bridget still in the house here, but what I'm going to say is happening there is you're probably not living on a budget, first and foremost. So if you're living on a budget, you would know that number like right away. So if money's running out and you don't have money at the end of the month, that has to do with that. Obviously, you're putting more money out than you're receiving. And read Bridget's book. Again, read Bridget's book. And learn how to start putting together a plan for you. And you got to get clear about what it is you want. How much money do you quote unquote waste? If you go to 7-Eleven or you go to Starbucks or you're meeting friends for dinner, and you got to have a budget around how much money you actually have and then how much you're putting out. And if you're running out at the end of the month, it's not going to change until you do this. So you have to create the awareness and take a good hard look at this. And in order to create more, you have to at least know where you are. What is your lifestyle costing you? So you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You got a thumbs up from Bridget. Okay. All right. So Denise, let me pick you. I'm going to send you. You got to send me a private message on Facebook. PM me with your name and your address, and we'll send you an I Have Today coffee mug. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So if you would like for me to mentor you live on air, please send in your questions ahead of time. Both of these came in ahead of time. So what you do is you go to dianeforster.com/mentor me, where you can ask me anything. Ask me anything. And you might get selected to get your question and the coaching done for you right here live on air. So, and remember this, I can't point this out enough. Your question or problem is somebody else's too. And the brave person who speaks up and says, I need help, I have a question, that's not a sign of weakness, that's actually a sign of strength. And by you doing that and being brave enough to do that, you're helping other people. So please send us your questions for your chance, and I'm happy to coach you live here on air. Okay? All right. So we're nearing the end of the show, and I always end the show with a mantra meditation. And, this is our 4th episode since we started going live. And the first episode, I started out reading one, and I'm going to read you one today as well. The other times I just channel and I just come up with whatever I'm supposed to give you that day. But I wanted to share my money mantra meditation with you because it's really powerful. And I think I said this at the earlier in the show. If I didn't, I'm saying it now. But this has had a very positive, profound effect on a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of messages and a lot of emails about people who downloaded this and listened to this, and it has changed their relationship with money, and it has changed their flow of money coming into their lives. So what we're all about at I Have Today is really giving you anything and everything that you need to live to your highest, greatest, fullest potential. That's what we want to do. And I want you to have a healthy relationship with your money. And it starts in our mind, right? It starts with our mindset. So what I'm going to ask you to do right now is find a comfortable spot. If you're driving, just get in your headspace, keep your eye on the road, but obviously don't close your eyes or do anything like that. But if you're home or wherever you are, really tap into this and tune into it. So what I want you to do is just kind of put your feet flat on the floor, your hands in your lap. You can face them up if you want to receive more energy. And we're just going to close our eyes. We're going to take a few deep breaths. And then all I want you to do is listen to the words and let them penetrate you on a physical, emotional, spiritual, cellular level, because you'll feel the shift. My goal is that you feel better at the end of this than you do right now at the beginning of it, okay? So sit straight, feet flat on the floor, close your eyes, and take in a deep breath, and then hold it for a few seconds. So breathe in, hold it, and then breathe out like you're blowing out birthday candles, hard. You should already be feeling better. I'm going to do another one of those. Ready? Breathe in. Hold it for a few seconds, diaphragmatically, and then breathe out. And then let's do one more. Breathe in. Hold it. And breathe out. And just relax and let the words do all the magic. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles big and small, I notice them all. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I have today to make a lot of money. I see money everywhere I look. Money comes into my life easily and effortlessly through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I make money when I sleep. I make money when I walk to the mailbox. I make money when I look in my email. I make money when I look in my bank account. Money just shows up in my life. I am so blessed to have so much money flow into my life so easily and effortlessly. I get paid handsomely for doing jobs that I love to do. I love the way I make money. It's satisfying to me. It feels good to me. It's not evil or greedy or selfish to want and desire money. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and spending money and making money is a part of the journey. It's infinite, abundant, limitless. And in this universe, I am limited by nothing. I can make as much money as I want to make, and I do such good things with my money that I make. I provide for my life and my family with riches and wonderful, nice things that make me feel really good. It feeds my soul. I also give back to the community and the world, and I have a clear understanding that we all need to make money, and that it's good to make money, and it's good to spend money. It keeps the economy moving. There will be no scarcity. There's never going to be another crash. None of that is going to happen to me. That's just the outside influences coming in, making me believe false things that aren't even true for me. What I know for sure is that I am the one in the power. I am the one in control. I decide how I feel about money, and I decide how I spend my money. I also decide how I make my money, and I decide how I give my money away. I love spending money. I love making money. I have so much fun with my money. Money, money, money. Money is everywhere. Money is abundance. Money is love. Money is happiness. Money is joyful. Money feels great. Today, all day, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I will feel good about the money that I spend, and I will feel good about the money that I make. I will also look and see opportunities to make money wherever I look. My mind is so open to potential with business partnerships, potential to work and new clients, potential to offer my services, potential to help others and serve in a really great way. And for that service, I will get paid very well. I am so smart. I am so talented. I am so gifted. I am so worthy. I am so brilliant. I am so dynamic, and I love how powerful I am. I love my ability to earn a fantastic living, and I love all the money that flows into my life. I deserve it. I've earned it. I'm worth it, just like everybody else on this planet. I love being a money magnet, and I love how easy it is to attract money to me, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can open your eyes. I want to say thank you so much for being here today. Thank you to my guest, Bridget Grimes. This show is all about money. Make your money, make you more money. Tune into your mindset. Get focused and clear about who it is, what you want, and why you want it, and let the money flow to you. This is Diane Forster for I Have Today. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.